Hi guys, and welcome to the first video on the Bedwars Dojo channel. Today's tutorial video will be how to get better and win all of your bridge fights in Bedwars or Skywars or any other bridge sort of game mode. I know this is a struggle with a lot of new players, and that's because the methods used are not very widespread and not really talked about much, and they can be kind of a pain to learn because they're not that intuitive. The first part of the video will be talking about the basics, and then we will build up on those basics on the rest of the video, getting into some more complex strategies that will help you win a more variety of your fights. There will be timestamps in the description to go to certain points in the video to figure out which kind you would like to watch. So yeah, stick around, like and sub, and enjoy. Peace. Okay, let's start with the very basics. So we have a bridge here. I'm in single player right now, but I will do some examples. But the first thing, movement is key in bridge fighting. If you're moving straight and hitting them straight on, you're going to kill them with damage before you actually knock them into the void, which is your aim. With the bridge fighting, the entire purpose of it is to knock them into the void to save your health and to just make it more efficient. So the way you're going to want to do that is pay attention to my keystrokes up in the top left-hand corner. When you're on this bridge, if there's an opponent on this side, the easiest way to knock them into the void is by looking to the side and hitting like this. So you can start by doing this, and then you're going to move them on this side. We'll show an in-game example right now of that. So what you can see here is I'm sort of starting to aim straight at him, but I slowed it down so we can see it better. So you see how we went to that side, and I'm going to look at my keystrokes here. I press W and D and look to my left side. I then proceed to, because I'm looking to the side, hit him to the side, and if you look at my hearts, I only took 1.5 hearts of damage. The next trick is very important, but still, it's not really as talked about because I don't know why, but it's just not. The next part is when you're gonna go hit your opponent while looking to the side, say you're on this side and they're on this opposite side of you, looking this way. When they hit you, you're gonna strafe into their hit. So watch my keystrokes. You see that A? I know I walked off there, but I wouldn't if I got hit. We're gonna do an in-game example of this after I show you why, after I demonstrate why it's important. This is important because when you strafe into that person, it negates your own knockback, so that allows you to hit them more times and that you won't get hit off this bridge. So we'll show an in-game example of that. Hope you enjoyed that example, and now on to the next trick. Those tricks by themselves are pretty good and will win you a lot of fights in casual Bedwars. So if that's what you're coming for, that's great. But if you want to win 99.9% of your fight, you're going to want to learn all these other tricks in this video. I'd say one of the also most important parts that are still considered the basics would be knowing how to sprint reset, like W tapping, S tapping properly, or block hitting. So I'm not going to get too in-depth into it in this video because there are a lot of other guides that can explain that better than me and that are probably better at PvP than me, but we'll just go a little bit right here. So let me get a zombie thingy. Yep. So if we're going to go on this ground here, and you're going to see this zombie, right? I have toggle sprint on right now. So if I'm just going to go sprint and hit him, you see how much knockback it does? A lot. But if I keep my sprint held down, if I don't reset my sprint and hit him a second time, he takes considerably less knockback. So the way to do that, you see I just W tapped there. So watch my keystrokes. So you're gonna wanna hit and then sprint reset. But right after you hit them usually, like that. But I'm in creative, so I get extra reach, so it's hard to hit more than twice. But that's basically why you wanna do it. This also negates your KB for some reason, because yeah. But anyways, once you do that, you'll be able to deal more knockback to your opponent while taking less, and also, if you're block hitting, taking less damage, and also it's just a good skill to have. Alright, let's show an example of W tapping. Be sure to look at the keystrokes, they're always going to be in the top left of my screen. Right, actually, yeah, one more thing. There will be an actual tutorial for W tapping linked in the description of the video if you want to go more in depth on that, but yeah. As you can probably tell, I decided to change up the scenery a little. I got tired of that old world, so I created a new one. But basically, this next trick will be called, it's like block placing, because in Bedwars and Skywars or in any other bridge game mode, you're probably always going to have blocks. So this one's pretty universal. You can always just do something like this, where you do that and then hit them off to the side. It's a pretty simple trick. It's been around for ages. You've probably seen everyone and their grandmother do it, but it still works somehow. Yeah. Kind of depressing that it works, actually. But anyways, here's another way you can do it. You can do this. You can do it a triple. Basically, why you're going to want to do this is because once you have this here and you drop down on your opponent, you've basically just created a wall behind you. And even though you're falling, since there's a wall behind you, you're not going to take that much knockback. And if you look to the side, they'll pretty much go flying and you'll get a crit. It's just, yeah, it's really good. Alright, on to the next. So this one's probably a little less widespread, but still pretty good. And this one is highly more effective, even though the last one is pretty effective. So say your opponent's coming at you from this way, you can go like this, and then hit them off like that. I think this was made a long time ago, but it still works, because as we know, Bedwars players are not the most intelligent species out there. Yeah, I said it. Okay. But anyways, it's basically making a wall and then wall running around it, like so. And then you're already going to have side momentum, because you're going to want to, like, basically come back here. So you're already going to get your strafe cancel. So you're going to, like, just, yeah. Alright, in-game example, and, yep. This next trick will be called, like, boxing into a bridge. This one's a little more hard to demonstrate in a single player. It's way easier to do when you're actually playing a ranked game. I'm just gonna kind of try and explain the concept to the best of my ability here and put an extra 1 or 2 examples in there to make it like 2 or 3, so you can really grasp it, because it's kind of a little confusing, I guess. But basically what you're gonna try and do is, since a player can't really be pushed through blocks, what you're gonna try and do is create a box out of them that you can sit in, so your opponent can't really hit you off. This is usually used in ranked quite a lot. They call it a boat. If you just sit in a box on a platform like this, so let me get out of third person. If you just sit in a box like this, they would call this a boat, because you can just sit here and hit people while the other people fight. Yeah, it's kind of annoying to deal with, but it's a good strategy. Alright, continuing on that, the way you really want to do it is, you have to know when to do this one in certain situations, because usually where this can be used, ladders can be used as efficiently or more efficiently, but we'll cover that later. Alright, on to the examples. Alright, now that you've finished watching the example, let's go back up to the surface. Alright, these are the last few examples. That was pretty goofy what I did. I'm such a comedian. These are the last few examples. These are going to be minigame utility. This is what I'm going to call them, because they're minigame utilities, such as like fireballs, ladders, even water buckets, I'd say. Those are pretty funny. And don't forget TNT, of course. I'm going to create another bridge. Be back in a second. Okay, back here with this monstrosity of a bridge, so we can test it on different kind of stacks: 1 stacks, 3 stacks, 2 stacks, and a flat stack. So basically, we're gonna start with ladders, because I think this is the most useful out of the utilities. I think, yeah, it's the most useful out of the utilities. The reason is because it's free, it's anti-KB for 4 iron. I'm not even joking. This is the most overpowered bridge fighting thing besides, like, your mouse that you can have. Alright, the way you want to set it up, usually, like, you're going to have 2 ladders on 2 blocks, and then you're just going to put blocks behind you and crouch. You won't take knockback from this. If they are here, you will just sit here, not moving. The only downside is that if they do have the high ground, as I will go demonstrate really quick, they can easily slip into your ladder thing, like this. So if I'm, like, sitting here, and my opponent's over here, they can just do that. So this, you have to kind of use this in certain situations. It requires a little bit more game sense than the others we've talked about. the aforementioned others, but it's definitely still doable. All right. Some more stuff you can do with ladders, obviously, is climb. Some more stuff you can do with ladders is you can climb with them. Obviously, you know, you can like do something like this. Can I do it? You can do something like that. I'm bad at that, but like you probably won't be if you practice. You can clutch with ladders. There's even something you can do called like a block ladder clutch, where when you fall, you place a block and then you place a ladder on that block like this, and it stops your fall damage. So let's go do one really quick. Like that, pretty much. Not gonna lie, that took me like 3 or 4 attempts to do because it's actually pretty difficult. But it's super sick once you master it. It's like very, very cool. I think Noah has a video on how to do it. He does it normal clicking, so it's pretty. If you can do it normal clicking, it's pretty impressive actually. But alright, on to the next things: fireballs and TNT and other stuff like that. Oh wait, oops, yeah, forgot examples, yeah. Alright, so for fireballs and TNT, there's gonna be two main things that a person would do on a bridge when they use them. It would either be to skip the person on the bridge that they were fighting, or it would be to acquire the high ground against that person to easily look to the side and knock them off. If I haven't said this before, which I don't think I did, but high ground is vital in a bridge fight. If you have high ground, it's very hard to lose in that situation, or at least trade, because you can literally just fall on top of them and then use the bridge to take less knockback. But yeah, that's my brother talking in the background. Sorry about that. But anyways, the next thing, fireball and TNT jumping, there would be 2 methods you would want to do mainly. You would fireball jump up, and you would hit them off on the jump, or you would land kind of on top of them or near them to bamboozle them a bit, and then just, you know, hit them off the edge. I can't really show that on a single player, so I'll do it in a game. Alright, now that we've covered pretty much everything you need to bridge fighting, you should be set to go win some Bedwars games. Get that FKDR up a little bit, you know? Yeah. So thanks so much for watching. It does mean the world. If you would like and sub, that would be pretty cool, considering this is our first video. Yeah. We'll be making more videos like this, more informative videos. If you do like this kind of video, be sure to, like, comment if you do, yeah. And comment what other things you would like us to demonstrate, or, like, I don't know, kind of show. But anyways, that's all I have. Thanks for watching. Peace.